Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm working on a traveler's notebook layout titled Garden. I'll be scrapping this photo, and I'm working with a digital version of the collection Hello Autumn by Carta Bella. This layout is based on sketch number 14, which is a silhouette cut template that is available as freebie at MistyHilltops.com, and there are a number of freebies available for download, so if you haven't done it, go check it out. There are things you might like. Anyway, I started by sewing the two papers that have those many leaves as pattern, putting a sewing line down, and then I'm starting by putting it down. And so I have to be careful to properly align the two pages, which is always a little challenging when I'm working with a larger piece of paper, not just a smaller strip of paper. So in the end, I realized there was quite some overlap actually of the pages, but I just trimmed that away and hope it won't give me trouble with the next page that I'm working on. So anyways, then I wanted this strip of solid colored just paper strip tucked underneath there, and everything I just printed from my Silhouette studio. So I clip all the papers to the shapes that come with the template there, and then I print and cut everything. So here I just realized that there was a little bit of overlap, but I'm dealing with that later as I'm continuing to work with this page. So here I am first gluing down the leftover threads that come from the sewing, and then I'm doing the same thing as I did with a strip at the top. I just put it down and then I tuck that other solid strip of paper underneath. It's always more difficult to work with these smaller strips that are thin strips to get them right, but this time it worked a little more easily because I have that sewing line there, and that makes that strip just pop off the page a little more. Then it's time to arrange the papers, and again I clip those to the shapes in the that come with the template, and then I cut them out, and then I roughen up the edges. I just run a card around them, and so that gives enough contrast for each of the papers. I notice if I don't do that, the papers hardly will contrast from each other, but when I do it, the papers will nicely contrast, even if they are of similar shapes and all that. So the shadows play with the page then. So anyways, now it's time to start to put things down there. I start with a background paper, the one at the bottom of this cluster. Obviously the strip is already glued down, and then I take the next piece of paper and put it down, and then it's just one by one. And in the template I had that colorful kind of plaid-ish paper to go in the front, but I really loved that pumpkin patterned paper, and I really wanted that to work and to show more, because I'm working with a pumpkin photo. It's from my mom's garden, and she's very happy with what's growing in her garden, and so I just really didn't want to let that beautiful paper that is just watercolored pumpkins to go to waste. So I decided to tuck that little piece underneath instead of putting it on top, and I'm much happier with this. That little plaid piece of paper still gets its place, and you can still see it well enough and all that, but that beautiful patterned paper gets the right recognition. Now here you see me, I'm using a strip to see where will be the line that goes through the middle of the page, because that will be my cut line where I cut apart the two pages, and I didn't want the photo to go across that cut line, so I made sure that the photo ends just where the cut will be. And so for that, I sometimes use strips of papers to show me where those cut lines are. And now I'm just putting down the embellishments that actually come with the kit. They're beautiful watercolored embellishments that I just printed on heavy cardstock so that it has a chipboard feel to it. And then those I have cut with my Silhouette. There's actually a video that explains how I do the print and cut, and it explains how I do get perfect cuts each time. I haven't shown you a close-up of these, but if you look closely at these embellishments, there is a white edge around it, but it is perfect. It goes around perfectly all the elements. They're not skewed or offset in any way, and I have a way of doing that and getting that effect with my silhouette machine pretty much every time I do the print and cut. So if you are curious on how to get your print and cuts perfectly aligned, I recommend you check out that video. I'll put a link to in the description box below. So anyways, now I'm ready to put down the title word there that I die cut from paper that I watercolored first. Well, I have a bunch of watercolored paper already so that I can just go and use it, because I was sure I wouldn't have a similar color orange in my cardstock. And then I'm also, this time I'm really paying attention to not put the letters down straight. I wanted them a little crooked and all that, so just to give this page a more whimsical look, as it already has a little whimsical look with all the designs that come. And then it was time to decide where to put those papers, the word strips. I have a bunch of word strips created, and you can download them as freebie from my blog. And then I realized, well, they look kind of pretty if I put them down as a row. And then I had just dropped that little pumpkin there. I had meant to put it elsewhere on the page when I prepared for printing, but then I thought, oh, it just works really nice there if I just put all these word strips down at that place where originally the journaling is supposed to go, and so, or in the template, right, that I'm sharing on my blog. So it'll be available on my blog at some point if it isn't already by the time you're watching it. And so here I have this embellishment part that has the flowers, and again I print that on cardstock and had my silhouette cut around the edge there, leaving a tiny white edge so that it still shows in contrast to the very busy patterned background papers. So I'm aware that there's a lot of busyness, and I do like white space pages a lot, and so busyness, when it gets too busy, is a little too much for me, but I think this still works pretty well. So this is the page. Now I need to go and cut, and again there will be the overlap that I was aware of right from the start, but I couldn't move the glued down paper strip anymore, and that was fine by me. Here I'm pulling off that whatever that was the overlap. I made sure it wasn't cut from the part that has the design there, that from the other page. Anyway, so here I'm going to leave you with some more close-ups of this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.